G'day everyone, Jason here with a review of some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, in particular Donatello, my favourite turtle. So we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Hero and a Half Shell, which is the retro style one from Playmates. So in his sort of same format as when he was originally released. So the wave of nostalgia continues with Super 7 and now this. You can get all 4 turtles, but of course I'm only concentrating on collecting Donatellos. So we'll open this one up shortly, but it's got the very much in the style of the original card back. So that is Donatello in the dark brown. And then we have something new and I've not seen before. So this is from BST AXN. I don't know what best features, best articulation, best assortment. Who puts this out? It is, I have no idea who the, it's from, Loyal Subjects and Nickelodeon. So this is Donatello, and this is obviously in a far more sort of cartoon style. So it's a fairly articulated, it comes with 2 heads, a couple of different hands. So it'll be interesting to see what this figure is like. Yeah, as I said, very reminiscent of the show art that sort of was out at the time, that was on all of the books and all of the merchandise, and that is Donatello with 31 points of articulation. So let's open these up and get Donnie out of the box. Okay, so here are the 2 Donnies out of the box. So we have the old style Donnie, so it looks like it's the same sort of sculpt as previous release. It feels fairly light, like lighter than the originals, and I think the plastic is a little bit sort of more flexible. But so there's Donnie, obviously with the dark purple headband, the darker brown skin. He's in that horrible pose that you've got to get just right to get him to stand up, with 1 foot back, and there we go. And then he comes with his weapons on the sprue. Again, they feel a little different to the originals, but I'm sure you can pop them off. The main one obviously is to pop off the bow staff, and I think he does come with a little spot on the back that he can have that in his holster. So that is Donnie, and then we have Donatello here as well from the cartoon in very vibrant green. So he stands considerably taller than the old school one. It comes with an additional face, which looks really good with the mouth open. Also comes with bow staff, slice of pizza, a couple of different hands, so a couple of fists and a couple of sort of holding hands. And then he's got the sort of the more open, relaxed hands on the figure out of the box. And then there's this little piece here to connect in the back of his belt to allow him to hold the bow staff. So let's have a closer look at the 2 figures and their articulation. Okay, so with the old school Donnie, the articulation is limited. Looks like the leg might have been updated, but basically there is a little bit of movement there, but because of the pose of the foot sort of up on the toes, there's very limited, there's, you know, he'll only stand in one particular pose, and you've just got to get that in that sweet spot where he's fully balanced. Arm wise, fully rotatable, and then there is a rotation at the elbow. Again, very sort of rubbery material. There's a little bit of flex to it. The head is quite hard, turns left and right only. There's nothing in the torso, it's just the one big bulk piece. So this is just a nod to the classic figure, a re-release effectively. There's a little bit of sculpt there with the veins in the arms, and then if we can get Donnie to stand up, we can, I'm assuming, just pop these off the sprue. Just go around like that. He can then hold his bow staff. I think he can hold it double-handed. Let's have a look. Maybe not. He can just, so you can have him there with the bow staff, or you can holster that in the back. That's just a very rubbery piece. You've just got to get it through the 2, and that'll hold there, no worries. And then it's just a matter of getting him in that pose. So there is old school Donnie. and the rest of his weapons I'm not going to pull off at this stage because he doesn't hold them very well, but basically the bow staff is the main one. And then we come to this new one by Loyal Subjects. So it's obviously considerably heavy. Like I was expecting it to be a really light. Like I think it's deceptive. The bright plastic and the basic sort of style of the figure makes you think that it's going to be a little bit cheap and, you know, hollow, but it is solid. Like that is a solid chunk of shell on the back and on the front here, and that's over a standard torso. So with the head, it is on a ball joint, but it's not a lot of movement. It's you can turn it left and right. There's a little bit up and down, but there's not much to go on there. Shoulders go all the way up. There's an actual butterfly joint there, so there is a little bit of movement forward and back. There's a rotation here. We've got double elbow, but it really doesn't bend much more than that, so you can't obviously bend it over onto itself, but that's because of the I don't think you can get it any further. That's about it. So he can get sort of to a pose like that if he's thinking about something. And then the wrist, swivel, and also a pivot. And then torso, there is actually, if you look in there, there is a upper torso on a ball that looks like the top part of the torso can move side to side. It is obviously restricted by the shell, which is plugged into the back, and then also has this more rubbery Donatello front part of the belt holding it. So the torso movement is limited, and then legs, they'll go forward, or sort of forward and out, back and out. There's a twist at the top. Knee, it's not very good. That's about as far as it'll bend. Rocker back and forward on the foot. There is a little bit of side movement, but not much. It's, you know, you might be able to sort of get out to a pose like that, and that's about it. So yeah, the articulation is basic, and then on the back we've got a couple of plugs here, and I'm assuming, I don't know which way this goes up, if it goes in one way or if we have to go the other way. And I'll see which one. I think it is made to go only one way, so that is it. So we just got to plug that in there. It doesn't quite match up there on the side, but so that gives you the spot on the back to put the bow staff, which is very thin, but he can stand with the bow staff, and then obviously can also hold it, although this hand is not the holding hand. So let's have a look. One of his gripping hands here. Yep, so that gets a really good grip. So the hands, let's see how easy or hard they are to take off. Oh no, that's not too bad. That comes off. So then we've got the gripping hand, and then let's see how the head pops off. The head feels incredibly tight. Oh. Yeah, I don't know how you would get this off. I might need to use some off-camera strength because I'm worried I'm gonna shoot it across the room. Oh, there we go. Okay, so you can then, and I'm assuming this will be just as hard to put on. Yeah, that one is even tighter again. So it doesn't, that seems to be sitting up much higher than the other head. So that one might need some heat, but you can have him with the sort of more open mouth look. But again, that head movement is very limited. And this constantly moves around, this shell. Like, it is literally just plugged in at the top, at the back, and held on by this rubber piece at the front over the torso. It's just a standard sort of human buck underneath. So if you wanted to, you could probably cut that off and have a nude turtle running around without the shell. But that is Donatello. And let's see if he can hold the pizza. So there is Donnie and Donnie. So just to compare the new style one, which doesn't have as good a grip on the bow staff as I would like, here is the original, and there is a slight variation in the color of the skin. This is a little bit greener brown, and the head sculpt is obviously a different size, different materials involved. The old figure is obviously a bit play worn and has a little bit of a stickiness to it, but that's the two of them side by side. If we can get them to stand up, of course. So yeah, it's you know, as I said, you wouldn't confuse one for the other. There are slight variations and obviously differences, different materials used, but it is a good recreation, so that if you didn't have the original figure, you can at least have something sort of approximating that in your collection. So here is the Donnie collection. So we've got the original disguised Donnie, we've got the new vintage version of Donnie, we've got the 3 Lego standard cartoon versions, we've got the new Loyal Subjects Donnie from the cartoon, we've got the old school original Donnie, we've got one of these ones from a Kinder Surprise type thing here in Australia, we've got pop vinyl, we've obviously got some of the Playmates and the Frankenstein one, including the 2 little baby ones. We've got that horrible second or third movie rubberized, weird, freaky looking spotty Donatello. We've got an even more controversial movie Donatello from the Michael Bay horror piece. We have the very nice, I can't remember if this is Figure Arts or S. Yeah, it's a very articulated set of the turtles and very poseable. We've got a big giant plush one from the Eka. We've got a small Dorbs. We've got a cartoon style Donnie. We've got a little clip-on Donatello holding some mutagen booze. We've got another cartoon style Donnie. We've got the big giant NECA Donnie in the background from the first movie, and we have a plush round Donatello. So the Donatello collection continues to grow.